In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Welcome into the CHGO Bears Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app, use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Carm's got, you just chucked your headphones backwards and they got stuck on the wall.
Well, we have a big-time guest coming up in a second here, and I noticed that my headphones were right next to me on the couch or on this chair. And I didn't think it wouldn't be good on any show, let alone a day when we're bringing out a Bears player. So I just got panicked. I just threw it back there. And it's hanging. You can't really see it, but it's hanging over the ledge. So I'll get them after the show. Don't worry, we'll be out of here, and let's get right into it, man. It's awesome.
Hold on. I'm hearing that the mics are not working, which is really depressing. So let's just go and let's see here.
That's why we appreciate the chat.
Yeah, thank you, chat. Give me a second here. I don't know what's going on with my mics. iMac mic, cam link, mute mics. Let's check something out here.
We're working on the audio,
Yeah.
which, as I'm saying this, you apparently can't hear us, but
Hold on, this is weird. We're going to try to turn off and on the Roadcaster, so just bear with us for 1 second.
Lawrence's mic is fine and everyone else's is not.
so they can hear you, Lawrence, if you want to communicate.
All right, well,
Everyone else is an echo.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Why?
Audio is coming from the computer, not
Exactly, which is really weird. This happened one other time, a long time ago, and I don't know why that is happening. Our guest is waiting patiently, so just hold on 1 second. This, of course, always only happens when we are doing big things. All right, so we have the Roadcaster. It looks like we are hearing the Roadcaster now.
Kevin Kalick says our tech setup is performing like Purdue basketball right now.
Oh, that's not nice.
How about that?
All right, so let's see. Can y'all hear me?
Is that better? Testing.
Can y'all hear me?
1, 2, 3. Well, they can hear you.
Check, 1, 2,
You
3.
fixed it. We're good.
Yeah. We're good.
Let's
All
ride.
All right.
Sorry about that, everybody. Well,
What a start to the show.
it's a Wednesday.
I blame Carm.
Yeah, Carm chucking his headphones right before the show started.
No, I don't know. That's weird. I don't know why my Roadcaster.
Shout out to the chat.
But hey, we have a guest.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Chad.
Let's jump right in.
Let's get
Adam
in
Hoge,
here.
Mark Carman, and Greg Braggs Jr. with you today on this fine Wednesday, and we are very excited. It is fullback day on CHGO Bears as we bring in our guy Khari Blasingame to the show. What's up, Khari? Thanks for jumping on with us today. Looks nice wherever you are, but we appreciate you jumping on.
I appreciate it. Thanks, thanks for having me, man. I'm down here in the South. I'm in Georgia, man, and the weather's pretty nice. So as y'all know, I'm outside, got a crying baby inside, so
How
just
old's
kind of
the
enjoying the weather.
How old's the little one?
6 months.
6 months. Congrats, man.
6 months.
It's a fun time.
Oh, you're in it. Fully
Yeah,
in
it is. It is.
We give you an A as a member of the Chicago Bears, an A being a fullback. Clearly, Ryan Poles thinks that because you were his first off-season move. What grade do you give yourself 6 months into this child as far as your parenting skills?
Very average. Very average. My wife has been doing a hell of a job. You know what I'm saying? She's taking the bulk of it because I had my baby right I didn't have it, but my wife had her right in September, and so for the whole season she's doing everything, and with the move and everything we're still getting into a rhythm, but I say very average. I give myself like a C plus or something, but my wife gets a A plus.
It's the humility that makes him a great teammate right there. That's why he's beloved in the Bears locker room. Look at that.
That's right.
Congratulations, by the
Man,
way,
I
for real.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Khari, I wanted to start by backing you up on something very important I saw on Twitter yesterday, because I saw you tweet tweet out that a little, I don't want to call it a controversy, but when people say errands are and maybe our wives do this. I know my wife does that, but she says, like, I have to run errands, and she goes to Target and Home Goods and Starbucks. That's not errands. I have your back on this. Khari, you retweeted and said these are errands. Costco, the bank, the post office. Maybe there's a little bit of debate on Home Depot. I actually like going to Home Depot, but I'm totally with you on this.
You know what? I appreciate you saying that. That makes me feel. A lot of people were on my head yesterday, but my whole thing with the errands thing is like, errands are supposed to be boring and tedious, and you're not supposed to want to do them,
Yes.
right? You know, Target. I like Target. Target's cool. You know, you go in there. You know, got a nice little smoothie, smell some candles. You know what I'm saying? It's smooth. You know, Sephora, Starbucks, those are leisure spots, you know, but you want to, errand is something boring that you just got to knock out. You don't have to knock out those other spots. So that was my whole take on it. I wasn't trying to, you know, get into any controversy or anything like that.
You just open up a little bit of a behind the scenes look. Do you have a lot of candles in your house? You got a great smell.
I'm a huge candle guy. My sister actually got me a candle for, that's one of the things she got me for Christmas. I'm a huge candle guy. I don't know what it is. I just like a nice smelling candle, man.
What's the scent? Is it a nice sandalwood? What do you got?
Look at you throwing out sandalwood out of nowhere.
I know there's one, and it's like, I mean, it's nothing expensive. It's like you can get it at Kroger or Mariano's up there, as it's called in Chicago. But I think it's called like Clean Linen. And then Bath and Body Works, I think they got one. It's like a cinnamon vanilla joint. I really like vanilla candles, but yeah, let's not get too much into my candles.
One of our commenters saying sandalwood, arguable goat candle.
I'm gonna have to try out sandalwood. I don't know if I've ever gotten into that. I need to get into the sandalwood. I need to get into the sandalwood.
I just wanted to be clear that we have your back on this particular topic because this is what Twitter's for. I love like this is a fun Twitter conversation, not really a controversy, and I totally agree with it. We could talk some football too.
Yeah.
Well, before we leave it, have you eaten at both Home Depot and Costco? And if so, do you have a preference?
I have not eaten at Home Depot. They got Home Depots with snack sections.
They've got a great hot dog at Home Depot, my understanding.
Yeah, they got a good hot dog stand there.
Home Depot may not be errands anymore. I've never experienced that, but Home Depot may not be errands. Costco.
The Costco pizza is
Costco
good.
pizza is next level. I'm not gonna get on here and say I like a nice Costco glizzy, because then that's gonna incriminate me for being a glizzy goblin. So yeah, Costco pizza. That's probably the better choice.
Everything in moderation. It's okay.
Hey, Khari, what's it like
Right.
being a fullback in the NFL? It's a position that not all teams carry. You got to find the right fits, the right teams that want to have a fullback, that embrace a fullback within their offense. And then you don't always get the love, you don't always get the football, but I think a lot of Bears fans last year definitely appreciated the impact you had on the running game. And if they were really watching the tape, they saw plenty of impressive blocks throughout the season.
Well, yeah, I mean, I enjoy it. It's definitely been a transition from running back. But I mean, you mentioned like we don't get the love. I think I get enough love from like my teammates, my coaches, especially, last year I had a lot of fun. I feel like they appreciated what I did. You know what I'm saying? So on that aspect, I don't really think about that too much. But it's fun, man. It's physical. You gotta get your mind right. You gotta get your spirit and your mind ready to really go bang, because it is physical when you're called on to do it. But it's fun, man, and it's being in the league, right? Had to make the transition from running back to fullback to be able to, get my opportunity, and whenever they come, I'm always grateful for them. So,
Did you have any inclination that Ryan was going to call you early in free agency and try to bring you back on a 2-year deal. I thought it was a interesting start to the offseason for the Bears. Like, hey, we love this guy in our locker room. We love him on the field. We're going to get this done right now. Did it catch you off guard at all?
Maybe a little bit. But like I said, man, super grateful to be back. I loved playing for Coach D Walk and, Khalil Demo's, gone now, but the whole running back room was dope. So I'm excited to be back. I'm glad to go to work with D Walk, Semo, all the guys, and I wasn't expecting it to come how it came, but I'm glad that it did. I'm glad that it did.
When they talked to you and about bringing you back, was there any talk? You've had such an impact on the running game blocking, but I felt like we could get you the ball. There's chances for you to make plays. I've seen you do it. You've done it against the Bears in a preseason game. And to me, was there any talk about getting you more involved with getting the ball in your hands, whether it's through the run game or even in the passing game?
You talking about like during contract talks? No, I don't think we didn't really, kind of get into that. But I think that'll work itself out, you know what I'm saying? As we get into it and the offense gets more, solidified, we start doing more of the things that, we like to do. I think it'll all work itself out. But that's above my pay grade, man. I don't even worry about that, So if it comes, it comes, and I'll do my best to be prepared and be ready for it.
Yeah, well, we every week we do a pregame show, and we'd always pick who we thought was going to get in the end zone, and you were always I'd pick you every single week. It almost became like a thing, but I may pick somebody else, but I always had your back.
It did become a thing, Khari.
I wanted you to get in the end zone last year, so we're going to get you in the end zone next week.
I need that energy, so keep it going, man.
Yeah, we couldn't get one fullback carry in the goal line. We got to talk to Getsy about this.
Well, because you guys did a play action on the goal line in the preseason, so I felt like it was coming at any moment. And I know there was a few times that you guys ran the play and it was covered, so I'm just looking out for you. I want you to get in that pay dirt next year.
Hey, man, I appreciate it.
You got the football, through the air in Tennessee, and you did get it on the ground. Not a ton, but you got it some. So they got to know that they're not bringing you back just without knowing the full package that you bring. Maybe it's not in the cards, but they got to know that you can do it somewhere if need be, I would think.
Yeah, like you said, it's on film, so we'll see what happens, man. I don't make any predictions or anything like that. I just try to be prepared, dog. Like, I know it sounds cliche or whatever, but control what you can control, right? So I'll just try to be prepared when they call it.
Did the David Montgomery part of the offseason, did that surprise you at all that he ended up in Detroit?
I don't think nothing ever surprises me like, with the game, like with the business side of the game, That's the business side, and it goes how it goes for a whole bunch of different reasons, man. But I love my guy Demo, and I'm happy for him and his family, man. They, that's life changing. That's a life changing deal right there. But yeah, man, I don't think anything surprises me when it comes to the business side of football or any athletics, any sports, any professional sports.
And you guys are going to move forward, and everyone's going to, put their best and have a great year, hopefully, running back, fullback, wherever. But what will you miss most about not having Demo around?
Really, it'll be off the field. Me and him were able to get close this past year and talk about a lot of things off the field, from, family life, spiritual, So it's really going to be the off the field, not having, the main thing that a lot of guys, I think you'll hear a lot of guys say, is that, football is cool. It's great to play and compete, and that's what everybody loves. But when you leave the game, the thing you're going to miss the most is the locker room and the guys. And so I think I'll miss that part of being with, Demo and our last season. I'll miss that the most. But, on the football side, y'all saw the film. He runs hard. He makes plays, makes people miss. He's a really good football player. So y'all miss that as well, but mainly it'll be, the friendship aspect of it.
Well, meanwhile, the Bears did go out and sign Deontay Foreman. I know you overlapped with him in Tennessee. What are the Bears getting there with Foreman added to the team?
Man, big physical runner, and he's smooth with it too. I think a lot of people say, well, he's downhill, maybe like a thumper, but he's got some moves. I feel like definitely I've seen him break some stuff in the open field. Man, he's a really good football player, and he's a good teammate, good dude, man. So I'm excited. I'm excited to get to play with D4 again, man. So it's gonna be cool, man. Him and Khalil and Travis, all the guys, and T. Eb, I think it's gonna be a really good room. I think it's gonna be a really good room.
And you obviously work closely with the offensive line too. The Bears signed Nate Davis, who you were with in Tennessee. Tell us a little bit about Nate. We got a chance to talk to him last week at House Hall when he signed, but just what are the Bears getting with an upgrade on the O-line there?
He's a dog, man. He, if you watch him in Tennessee, there's a couple clips floating around out there the way he finishes, and I think he plays really hard. He's a dog. He's really good. Like, he's just a really good football player. Like, I'm not the big analyst guy. Like, I can't really tell you exactly heavy-handed punch, this and that. I mean, I'm sure he has all of that, but when I played with him, he always did his job. Was a great teammate. He's fun to be around too, man. I like Nate a lot, so that's gonna be cool to get to play with Nate.
Who's the loudest in the huddle right now? I mean, Justin's got to be Justin, but if you had to pick like biggest energy guy on a daily basis, who jumps to mind?
Are you talking about from last season?
Yeah, from last year.
I don't know, man. We had a lot of guys bring a lot of energy. Demo brought a lot of energy. Justin, on that O line, Reef, we called him the Sheriff. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe that's an inside joke, but I mean, you got to think about, like, when we played and got in the end zone, there was a lot of guys always giving energy. Lucas Patrick, it's hard to pinpoint just one guy because, I mean, we get energy from a lot of different places, but that O line brought a lot of energy and fun last year.
When these guys were in Hallis Hall and in the locker room, they'd talk a lot about how you guys' energy stayed up all year, even, at the end of the year where you guys went through a losing streak. And I think you don't see that with a lot of teams when they're losing games. Speak to the culture that, Matt Eberflus is trying to build and how you guys were able to keep a positive mindset and move on to the next week regardless of the results the week prior.
I mean, I think you said it right there. I mean, from any organization runs from the top down, right? So if Coach Flus had got up there and, done anything out of character from, what we had seen from him or anything other than who he is, which is process oriented, hits principle, that's who he is, that's who he wants the football team to be. So whether it was a W, or a loss, he was the same guy. So it was easy for us to go be the same guys and have energy and, just keep chopping wood, believing that it was going to fall. Maybe it didn't fall the way, we thought it would, but, it was easy to just keep chopping wood because you knew, like, if you just trust the process, put the work in, it was, nobody was going to come in and dog nobody out, or it was all about the process. Now, if you wasn't doing your job, there's always accountability, but it was always, about the process. And so when you keep it level-headed and keep it, focused on the end goal and focused on, the process, it's easy to go to work, no matter what the outcome looks like. So I think that would be how, like, it was top down, and then, our position coaches were great. And then, like, we talk about the guys, like, we just had guys that are like, you know what, I don't care what it looks like, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna try to get the best out of myself that I'm gonna get.
So Khari, we got a bunch of fans watching live here, and some of them have been dropping in with some questions in the comments. One of them I saw a little earlier was they're wondering if it's really true that if certain players did not practice well or bring full energy in practice, did they not play as much in the game? Because that's something that Flus talked about during the season, and I think there were a couple examples of that at time. Was that a real thing within the locker room that you guys felt like when you went on the practice field every single day that you had to be top notch and there was that level of accountability that the coaching staff was bringing?
I mean, I think there's always accountability. I can't speak to any, like, specific situations because I don't know if I paid attention that much to, who was playing and who wasn't. But, I mean, I just think at all times, like, you always felt like, okay, I got to go do my job well. I got to show that I can do it well in practice so that I can have that trust from the coaches in the game. So, I mean, I think that's just a standard, period. You know what I mean? So I'm sure it happened like that. Like I said, I can't tell you if you know there were certain instances that played out like that, but it was definitely like you definitely had to go to work during the week to earn that trust.
Would you say that Flus keeps a kind of a, let's call it a healthy distance between the players? Like you guys have your space, I have mine, or is it more like you almost feel like you're friends with the guy? I'm just curious to figure out that relation, because what we see, he's very businesslike, and he's with the media, he's pretty boxed in as what he'll say. I'm trying to get sort of a feel for what it's like behind the scenes with him.
No, I wouldn't say that it's like he keeps a distance, but I also wouldn't say that he's like our friend. Like it's a very healthy business relationship, and he is the leader of the ship. You know what I'm saying? So I mean I don't know how to give you. I guess I can't give you a accurate description of what that's like, but I mean I don't feel distant from him at all. Like, and I don't know if the players felt distant from him at all. But he's the leader of the ship, and it's a healthy business relationship.
When, with the exit of David Montgomery, now you bring in Foreman, but Khalil Herbert, who's been here, I'm a big fan of his. I mean, first time he stepped on a practice field at Hallis Hall, you could kind of see that burst, and I'm excited for his opportunity this year. But some of the criticism from some fans and media is his blocking he's got to pick that up. What would your assessment be of like what it takes to be a good blocker in the backfield, and Herbert's ability to improve on that?
I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I don't do that. That's not my job to assess any of my teammates, or I hate to give you that answer. It might seem political, but that's really not my job. I don't focus on that. It takes a lot to be a good blocker. It takes strength, technique, and the willingness to be a good blocker, which he has all of those. But I can't assess anybody's ability. I've seen him do really well in pass protection. So I mean, if we talking like criticisms, I mean I don't know where any of that comes from, because I've seen people win reps and I've seen people lose reps. So I don't know. It's not my place or my job to provide assessments. But to what does it take to be a good blocker? It takes strength, which he has. It takes willingness, which he has, and just technique, which Coach D Walk coaches us up on every day, damn near. So sorry if I don't know if I can say damn, but excuse me.
No,
but
yeah.
so I definitely think he has the capacity to do it. I mean, but I can't make assessments on anything. I hate to be political, but. And
to be clear, I think it's an overblown narrative with him. It's just something that fans say, you miss one block, and then people are saying it. I personally think it's an overblown narrative, and I'm excited to see him get more opportunities to kind of prove some people wrong, that their opinions don't mean much, but just as far as I'm a fan, just like anybody else that talks to other fans that have their takes.
Bragg spends too much time
and
on Twitter,
he's a
Khari.
dog, man. Like, say what?
I said, my guy Bragg's here, who's the greatest, but he spends too much time on Twitter reading what everyone's saying. So I just want to give you the background of where this is coming from.
Man, he's a dog, man. Khalil's a dog, man. So anything that he wants to do and wants to improve on, there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to do that. And I'm excited to see what he does. He's a dog, and he works super hard, and I'm excited to see what he does this year.
No, I just, the thing with Khalil I'm wondering if you see the same thing that just kind of fascinates me watching him. And I've asked him about this, like, how do you have, he's got that kind of calm hesitation where he can wait for something to develop and then he goes, where there's a patience in his running style that I think is kind of unique to him that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. I mean, every guy has, like, their unique, I guess, idiosyncrasies in their game. I don't know how you coach that or how you develop that. Some guy, he might just have had that since rec ball, since he was a kid. But it's cool to see him turn stuff on and make something out of nothing and make a lot of plays. So, yeah, man, he definitely does have that, though. He definitely does have that patience, that setting up blocks and then that burst to make it happen. So, yeah.
Khari, what's the most fun part about being a fullback? Like, what's the if there's like one play in a game, like what is it that you're just like totally fired up about when you're playing that position?
I mean, it's two things. It's like when you get a lead week or you get a outside zone or something, and you just really catch a guy and you spring a run. That's dope because it's like being at the point of attack and really making a big run happen. That's fun. And then if you get an opportunity, you're one-on-one with a backer or you up the sideline wheel route or whatever, and you make a play. That's awesome too. But I would say that, and then special teams, like if you just catch a guy like coming through an alley or make a big tackle, big play on special teams, that's always a game changer. Like just thinking over my career, like whenever you can make a tackle on special teams, big play on special teams, that's an energetic moment. You know what I'm saying? So getting a good clean block where you win it definitively, that's always good though from a fullback perspective.
Well, and Khari, I mean, if people aren't fully aware of your background, I mean, you're a football player. You came up as a safety and then a linebacker, and then he switched over to offense in college at Vanderbilt. You had the ball in your hands. You've caught it out of the backfield. Now you're being asked to clear the way here, and the Bears are giving you a 2-year deal. So, like, there's literally nothing on the field that you haven't done on both sides. But when I'm looking back at your Vanderbilt career, I'm like, did you know that you could be an NFL guy? Because I'm not sure what's right, because in Wikipedia it says you started all games of your senior year, but on the Vanderbilt side it says you started 2 games. So here you were not, and you were undrafted. So and you were also like this, you were an honor roll student every year and had big dreams in the health field, which I want to talk about. So it's like just to be in this position today, doing what you're doing. Are you kind of looking around like, how did this happen a little bit? Because it didn't, like, the resume didn't exactly scream that you would be here.
Right. I would say you're right, but I'll also say you're wrong too. Like my junior year, I feel like I played really well. I split time with Ralph Webb, and I played really well on special teams. And I think when I just looked at it objectively, I knew I had all the physical characteristics to be in the league, whether it was as a pass protector on third down and a really good special teams player, and cut my teeth in a different way at running back, or when I started looking at the different people like Kyle Juszczyk and CJ Ham, and I figured, I was like, there's a role, there's a place that I could play in the league. So I feel like I knew, but like you mentioned, my education, I always hedged my bets. I always hedged where I was investing my time, and so that was always a big thing for me, was making sure that if football didn't work out, I had a backup plan. But that's exactly what it was a backup plan. Football was always my plan A. And, the numbers, it might not scream, superstar in college. But I always felt like, especially after my junior year, I was like, you know what, if I can just get into a camp and show a team that I can be a dog on special teams, and then I got some ability to help a team, I knew I would, if I got a fair shot, I could make a team. And I did that. So yeah, man. I mean, I would say that you're absolutely right. My resume in college, the yards, if you compared it to somebody else, you probably wouldn't be like, okay, he's gonna last 5 years. But then again, you never know how stuff is gonna play out. And for me, it was always just about keeping working too. Like just keep working, keep getting better, and see what happens.
You mentioned CJ Ham. Was he in Minnesota when you were there?
He was. I learned a lot from him. He's a really great guy, and just he was a great teammate. I mean, there was times that before practice you get a script of the plays that you're gonna run, and there was times where just out of the blue he'd be like, "Hey, you good on everything on the script?" Just making sure that I'm good, that I'm ready to go to practice, ready to learn, And so I just I followed behind him, took things from his everyday system and routine and his structure. And it just worked out, that I ended up in Tennessee, and after that it was, I mean, you guys know, Tennessee for 3, now Chicago. I mean, it just worked out. But yeah, I was up there with CJ, and I learned a lot from him.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to ask you about, because it just seems like that's probably I think any rookie going through the NFL, it's kind of a whirlwind, whether you're a first-round pick or you're undrafted. But especially when you're undrafted and you end up on the practice squad, you don't really know what's going to happen. I'm just wondering what those few months were like when you're in Minnesota. You're trying to learn from CJ Ham, embrace your role there, and then all of a sudden the Titans come calling and they add you to their active roster. Just what was that time period like in your life, and then how important did it end up being? Like that, how momentous was that signing where the Titans come in and say, we're going to add you to our active roster?
I mean, that time was super important because it gave me. I was up there for 10 weeks if you include if you don't include camp. So whatever camp is, and then you add the 10 weeks of the season. I was up there for 10 weeks with the Vikings and Kennedy Palomalu and CJ, and it was huge because I was able to learn a lot from both of them and develop my body a little bit more in the weight room. As a practice squad guy, you're working out 4 times a week, just developing. So that was huge. And then the timing of the Tennessee, it was perfect. When you look at it from the business side or from the free agency side of the game, I got 6 games in the regular season with the Titans, so that was great for, my free agency and everything. And I was able to get those benefits and then just play, be a part of a really good team in Tennessee that went to the AFC Championship game, learn from those guys, play, provide value. I mean, it was, I couldn't have imagined that it would work out that way. If I had written the story, I would have written it a different way, but it worked out perfectly.
And that was the year Derrick Henry was the rushing title holder, correct?
I believe so, yeah. That was that year. Then the next year, he rushed for 2,000. The next year in 2020, he rushed for 2,000.
What was that like for you to be a part of that?
I think the 2000 year was a little bit more important for me because I showed up, like I said, in week 10. So that last 6 games, I wasn't really there for the first 10 games. So, I just feel like I came in on the back end. We did well, you know what I'm saying? But that 2020, I really felt like, I was able to play all year and, really be a part of it. So that 2000 probably means a little bit more to me than the first rushing title.
Derrick Henry now, when you're looking at that guy, that's just not a normal human being. I mean, I walk around and I'm like, all men are not created equal. Like I walk into your locker room, like, look at these guys, and look at me. This is embarrassing. But you're an NFL player, and looking at him, that's got to feel a little odd.
Man, he's it wouldn't feel odd if he was a DN or if he was an edge rusher. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's a running back, and he's hitting 20 miles an hour with the ball in his hand. So, yeah, he's an alien, man. He's got a lot of God-given ability, but he also just works his ass off. So that's another thing. But yeah, no, he's different. He's different.
When you talk about an alien, I mean, it must have been exciting to be with him. And then this season, you guys with Justin Fields, I mean, doing things for me as a Bears fan, I've never seen anyone more electrifying since Devin Hester, a type of player that at any moment can break an 80-yard run. And, it felt like from the Patriots game, there was a little bit of a turn where maybe there was an adjustment in play calling. Obviously, they started having him do some individual QB designed runs. What was that like, that stretch there where you guys were popping off 30 points a game and Justin Fields had 1 or 2 career highlight runs a week? I mean, because for us here at the studio, we were losing our minds watching this.
Yeah, no, I think in the moment you don't realize how crazy something is, but kind of looking back at some of the stuff he was doing, it was like, man, it was crazy. It's crazier more looking back on it. You know what I'm saying? When you're in the moment, and maybe because I guess games weren't going the way, it maybe doesn't feel as electric because the only thing that we really cared about was winning, right? But to watch what he did and watch what we were able to do as a team on the ground, it's crazy, and it's gonna be pretty cool to look back on that for years to come. Because I mean, he broke Michael Vick's record. You know what I'm saying? We grew up watching that guy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, come on, man, dude broke Michael Vick's record, and so I just imagine for a young kid that was watching that, how that must have felt. Because I remember how I felt watching Michael Vick. So yeah, man, it was cool, and it's cool to even look back on that.
How excited are you going into this year now? You guys got an influx of talent. DJ Moore added to the team. Obviously, Chase Claypool gets a full year with you guys. How excited are you guys to get into this year, get to work, and let him take another step in his career arc?
Itching, man. It's we got a lot of good players. We got a lot of good players, man, and I think if we work the way we worked last year, I think we're gonna put it together. I mean, I like I said, I don't make predictions. I don't make analysis of different stuff, man. I just know that I'm excited. I'm excited to go play and run the ball well and win a lot of games. That's what I'm excited to go do, man. And I think it should happen.
What was it like playing with Justin last year? He obviously showed off his toughness throughout the season, took a lot of hits, kept getting back up. I've heard a lot of other players kind of reference, even opponents bring that up. They're like, man, we just can't rattle this guy. One of your new teammates, TJ Edwards, who was on the other side with the Eagles this year playing against you guys, made a comment like that a couple times this offseason, and now he's on your team. Just what did you come to appreciate, I guess, about Justin Fields' game just as one of his teammates?
I think I came to appreciate him way before he started making all the plays and showing the toughness, because when we're at the facility in the spring, he's always one of those guys in there doing the extra work, so to see him, like, if I'm going in there to do extra work and then he's in there before me and then after, what I'm saying, he was really putting it in, and he was really putting the work in, so that automatically that's a certain level of respect that you respect the work. That's all I'm gonna say. I definitely respect his work. And I mean, what y'all saw was just, I couldn't have told you that he was gonna break Michael Vick's record and do all the crazy things he did, but I probably could have told you he was gonna be all right, because he works hard. So I would say just playing with a guy like that, like you just know he's gonna be all right just because of the level of work that he puts in. So, like I said, I'm excited. I think a lot of us are excited and ready to go do something.
I mean, I just think we should underline what compliment Khari just paid Justin. I mean, you got, correct me if I'm wrong here, Khari, but in college you got the Lifter of the Year award from your coach at Vanderbilt. So, like, you like the weight room. You hang out there. And you're saying that Justin's in there before, he's in there after, he's on the field working with guys. I mean, the work ethic is incredibly strong with QB1.
Yeah, definitely, man, definitely.
Hey, one more thing I want to ask you about, too, is Ryan Poles last week when he talked to us brought up your extension and mentioned how you became a leader last year in the locker room. You showed your leadership skills to them. I apologize if this is a little bit of an awkward question to answer, but just like what is leadership to you? Like, is that something you think about on a daily basis when you're in that locker room, or is it just sort of something that happened naturally? And I guess how much pride do you take in that, walking into a new locker room last year and being able to make that type of impact that obviously your general manager noticed and rewarded you with the new contract?
I mean, for me, leadership is just kind of about actions. If you just show up every day and just try to be the best. For me, it was about the room, right? It wasn't necessarily about trying to be, the most vocal guy and, lead the whole team. It was just about our room, our running back room. I wanted to be a guy who came to work every day, and my coach and the dudes I sat in that room with knew what they were going to get out of me. So, I appreciate him, saying that, but it's not something that I thought about. It was just more, I just want to show up every day and be a dog. That's it. I don't really think it was, hey, I'm going to go be a leader and, say these things. And it was just about showing up. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, yeah, absolutely. I just love how much we got a lot of commenters here that are just like appreciating hearing from the fullback on the team. Like, we don't get to hear from this guy a lot. They're happy that you're here. They're enjoying that we get to hear from a player that they might not know as well. And
people should know that, when we get to see Khari in the locker rom, he's got the serious side and you got the playful side too. There's a full spectrum here that's available when you're hanging out.
Yeah, no. It's not all business all the time. So definitely, I don't know. You catch me in the locker room, that's like my element. I'm with the guys, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to have more, Target run and Costco debates, you know what I'm saying, we can do that too.
Just don't make fun of me about Purdue, man, because
we're gonna get there. We're gonna get to something along those lines in 1 second, actually. All right, I got a couple fun things for you. Number one, do you play tennis?
No, I don't. My wife will actually tell you we went and played a couple times like last year, or maybe it was during COVID, and she kicked my ass, bro. So I don't know. I don't know if I can say that. I'm sorry, but
No, you can.
yeah, but no, I don't. I'm not good.
Well, first of
I'm
all,
not good at all.
you can say anything on this show, just so you know. There's no rules. Which is the
Okay,
the great
I'm
part.
saying I don't want somebody coming down on y'all, because I'm always
Well,
not watching my mouth.
I bring it up for a slightly serious, complimenting thing for you. You won the Arthur Ashe Jr. Male Sports Scholar by Diverse Issues in Higher Education when you were at Vanderbilt. And, I assume you know who Arthur is, one of the great tennis players of all time, Grand Slam champion.
Yep.
You've done a ton off the field that I just think should be illuminated. One of your goals, it says here, is your commitment to addressing systemic inequalities in healthcare, long-term goal to become a leader in healthcare administration, make sure that people are getting the care that they need, that they deserve, that we're on a level playing ground. I mean, I get inspired reading that, Khari. It's awesome that it's on your heart like that. Where does it come from? I'm not sure if your parents deserve some credit, but just kind of just interesting about that part of your background.
Now, my parents absolutely deserve almost 100% of the credit for that. They pushed education super heavy. So by the time I got to Vanderbilt, like I knew it was no option to let my education waver at all. So I wanted to be a doctor. My mom's a podiatrist. I wanted to be a podiatrist and kind of do that, and but I ran into calculus in college. While it was one spring, I can't even remember. I took calculus, and I was really working at it. I was really trying. I was really going like sciences, I was cool. The bios, the chems, the neuro, it was cool. But as soon as I hit calculus, it kind of roughed me up a little bit. So I went the more healthcare administration route. And so I majored in medicine, health, and society at Vanderbilt, and my track was racial and ethnic health disparities. And so just learning about the different ways that race, social economic status, class, all of that plays into health. Through a lot of different ways. It was just like, that's an opportunity to, like, if you can go provide value in that section, in that sector where there's not a lot of, effort being put, like, I just felt like, you could help a lot of people and just do a lot of good things in that way. So when I was coming out, that was, if football didn't work out, that was going to be the next thing to go into healthcare administration. Now after getting my master's, so I got a master's from Vanderbilt Peabody in leadership and organizational performance, and my vision has shifted a little bit. I'm still interested in that, in the disparity space, but more so financially, like in the financial disparities, right? So talking about investing, building wealth through real estate, and doing things that way, more so became interested in that over the past few years. So I'll probably end up going that way and not the healthcare administration way, but it's always an option.
That's cool.
I see you tweeting a bunch of finance stuff.
I just want to say that the calculus is the worst.
The worst.
Absolutely.
Terrible.
You ask me why I'm a writer, it's because of calculus. F that class.
Oh, I got booted from
I
calculus.
couldn't make it in math class. I showed up to Algebra 2 first day of senior year. He wrote all these equations on the board and said, if you don't know these formulas, get out of my classroom. And me and three guys stepped up and walked out of the classroom.
You realize you're talking to a Vanderbilt dude, and you're saying Algebra 2 as a senior.
Yeah,
he went to
I didn't go to college, Khari. I went to lay bricks. I didn't go to college, so I get it. Math is too hard.
Hey, Khari,
I respect that. I respect that. My dad was a brick mason, so I respect that.
Nice. Well, that's what we're doing around here. I mean, we brick by brick is a motto I say a lot here, and Tremaine Edmonds was saying it in his opening presser, and I know Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus talk a lot about the foundation and the brick. So from someone that is a brick mason, I was just out on a chimney yesterday morning. I appreciate that kind of mentality transferred over onto the football field.
Yes, sir, man. I mean, that's what it is. You just, you're trying to build something, man. So Gotta do it. Gotta do it that way. One step at a time, one brick at a
So,
time, man.
so you said your dad was a brick mason?
Yeah, so actually my grandfather was a brick mason as well. So he has or I guess had a brick masonry company here in Georgia. And
Did
he
you
grew
ever
up, my
go
dad
out and
grew up
labor?
doing it. I did, but I never laid any bricks. I was just the guy who carried the mortar around. That was what I did.
Slinging the mud? Getting
That's it.
the tongs of
That was
brick
it.
around?
Yeah, that was it, man. I never built a wall, never laid a brick, but I could wheelbarrow a mean batch of mortar though.
Nah, it always comes back to brick by brick somehow. with
Somehow,
Brags.
I love it.
I don't know if you
love
can see.
it.
We'll get
Yeah.
you one of those shirts that's on the screen there. I don't know if you can see it. It says brick by brick. We'll get
Yes,
you one
sir,
of
I
those,
see
Khari.
it.
That's what we do here.
Hey, Khari, I got one
Appreciate
beef
it.
with you.
Yeah, here it comes. I knew this was coming.
So, is it true that Northwestern and Pat Fitzgerald was trying to get you to come to Evanston before you went to Vanderbilt?
That is true. That is definitely true.
And are you aware that when you were at Vanderbilt from 2015 to 2018? I'm just looking at this. 2015 Cats were playing on New Year's Day versus Tennessee. 2016 Cats are winning.
Come on.
Cats are winning the Pinstripe Bowl. 2017 they're winning the Music City Bowl. 2018 they're winning the Holiday Bowl. You could have been getting to know Chicago. You could have been wearing the purple. I know everything. I mean, everything you just laid out at Vanderbilt sounds like things went great. But there's got to be some part of you that's like, you know what?
I think it worked out okay.
Maybe that purple thing. I kind of blew it right there.
Hey man, look. No offense to the program or Coach Fitzgerald, none of that, man. But I don't know, man. The whole process when I was getting recruited, Minnesota was my first offer, so it really came down to between Minnesota and Northwestern. And just like the way I felt when I went to Minnesota, I went to Minnesota first. So I guess I committed to Minnesota first, and then Vanderbilt came after that. But I always wanted to go to Vanderbilt. But Northwestern was cool, man. I didn't really feel, you know what I'm saying? You get that warm, bubbly feeling when you go somewhere and you're like, oh, this would be dope. I just didn't really feel that, man. And there's no doubt in my mind it would have been a great time, great school. I still keep in contact with some of the dudes from Northwestern, like that, were like on my visit, like my host and stuff. But like, I don't know, man. I definitely don't regret my decision, man, because also when I got the Vanderbilt offer, my grandmother was like, all right, so you're definitely not going 15 hours away. You might as well just go ahead and saddle up and go to Vanderbilt. So yeah, man. It was a great opportunity, but it just wasn't for me, man. But
Look,
don't have too much beef with me. Don't have too
No,
much beef.
I got it. I respect it. Who hosted you out of curiosity?
It was Warren Long.
Oh yeah,
Great man, Warren Long.
yeah, Warren Long. Yeah. Hey, look,
It
I'm
was
sitting
him
here.
and Godwin. Him and Godwin. I spent time with both of them. Godwin, I don't know how to say his last name. Igwebikwe.
Godwin Igwebuike, he's now a running back in the NFL. He transitioned
He
to
is.
running back, which is
Yeah.
crazy. Hey, look, I'm sitting here with a Wisconsin sweatshirt on, so I'm just glad you didn't go to Minnesota. I got no beef at all. That sounds like a great move.
And this dude's a huge Purdue fan. You want to do this now or you want to wait?
No, we'll wait. We'll wait.
We don't need to hear
let
about my
Khari
Purdue
go.
sorrows.
Okay.
Khari, we appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much for being here today. And I think all the fans here that are watching live are excited that you're back on the team with a 2-year contract, and we'll see that running game keep going in the right direction next season.
Did you buy anything when you got the deal? Any one little gift to yourself? You should have done something.
Nah, I didn't do anything, man. I got everything I need, man. So I'm straight, man. I didn't do that. Not yet, at least. Not yet.
Okay.
Did you want to give a shout out for your own podcast? I know you do Business of Athletes. You're talking about that's something important for you going forward.
Oh yeah, man. Business of Athletes, got it right here. You know what I'm saying? My little shirt. But Business of Athletes, man, we talk about, athletes who have transitioned from their careers, whether it's in college or the pros, and into a life of entrepreneurship, real estate, investing, or even the corporate world. And so just, helping chart that path for young athletes so that they can figure out what it is that they're going to do when football is over with, or when any sport is over with. So, we've had a bunch of different guests, and, along with that, we do, some financial literacy, some financial education. So, yeah, you can just tap in with it at Business of Athletes on Instagram and on YouTube.
Awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that, Khari, and we'll see you soon, all right?
Khari, we really appreciate it.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you.
All right, there he is, Khari Blasingame. Make sure you're following him on Twitter at Khari Blasingame as well. Appreciate him coming on. Seemed like everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Good job by Braggs. Braggs the
Dad
booker.
and Grandpa Brick Mason. That's badass.
I mean, how excited are you right now about that?
That was awesome. I would have never, I had no idea. That was so
amazing.
cool.
I think it derailed the whole interview. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, you and
That's awesome. It somehow always comes back to brick by brick. I love it.
it's fate, And I know LOL in the chat don't like it, but hey, get on board or get out the way, because that is the motto for this season. Yeah. So I don't like it. Tough.
That got me ready for the Masters because it was.
Yes.
In Georgia, and the birds are chirping.
Yeah, Kevin Kaduk, head of content in the chat, was talking about it, and then I was like, where are the azaleas?
The only problem with that interview was when you tried to get him to just dog Khalil Herbert's game.
I did not get him to dog Khalil Herbert, but I appreciate the pick-me-up. You know how I feel about Khalil Herbert. I think very highly of him, so I just wanted to see his thoughts on people that don't think he's a good blocker.
Okay.
Yo, Khari, what's wrong with Khalil Herbert? Why can't he block?
That isn't what I said.
No, I know you did. It was that was great.
You sound like somebody on Twitter taking my Peter Skronsky video completely out of context. That's what you're doing right now.
Well, glad we got to that full circle. By the way, a breaking news, which is kind of.
We have 2 ad reads in about 8 minutes.
Yeah. I'm trying.
All right. Well,
is it really breaking news or is it something stupid?
I mean, that's my cousin, and I'm getting that picture right now.
What is
Your cousins with Roquan Smith?
My cousin is hanging out with Roquan Smith right now. I think that's kind of breaking news.
Okay.
Wow.
Roquan's in town. He's working out. I love it.
Great. DraftKings is our partner here at CHGO. Use that code CHGO when you sign up. We got NBA No Sweat Same Game Parlays. Last night was fun with the World Baseball Classic, although the ending was cool. But
DraftKings had the free bet. The no sweat money line, of course.
Every day you open the DraftKings app, they have something for you, whether it's a free bet, a boost on your parlays. It's always there for you, right at the top of the app. Make sure you're checking it out. Download the app now. Sign up with code CHGO. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
And team, as I'm now trying to get Roquan on the show. Don't you think Roquan wants to come on the show?
I mean, not right now. So, maybe another time. Can we finish this show, please?
Someday there's going to be an investigation into what really happens the hour before the show. When
Carm in his prep
supposedly is prepping, but then ends up prepping on the show.
And
never is ready for his ad read as I sit here and stall again.
How am I supposed to know that I'm going to get a picture of Roquan right before? And it actually did give me the incredible amount of energy, just like the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, which is committed to helping families and businesses in the communities we serve manage energy usage and lower energy bills now and into the future. By the way, ComEd, I signed up. I got an email today from ComEd. Somebody gets to light Buckingham Fountain, and I'm hoping that it's going to be me, so I applied. ComEd offers a wide array of incentives on lighting and other efficiency upgrades to commercial, industrial, and public sector customers of all sizes across our territory. Customers, you can inquire how to upgrade outdated lighting to energy and money-saving efficiency LED lights. You want to visit ComEd.com/powering business now to start saving money and energy. To start a project, you can also call them at 855-433-2700 or use that email businessee@ComEd.com or publicsectoree@ComEd.com.
And our CHGO Bears offseason coverage is brought to you by the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program. Learn more at ComEd.com/poweringbiz. I see a couple people in the chat talking about how they're in rainy Arizona right now. That's where my dad is, too, right now, dealing with the rain today. Someone's going to the Sox game today. That sounds awesome.
My guy Ryan Cox going to the Cubs game.
I'll tell you what, if anybody is in Arizona and going to the White Sox game on Sunday, I will be there. So look for me.
There you go.
I'll hang out with you. I will buy you a beer in that right field bar they have there at Camelback Ranch. How about that?
What word is
Goose
there?
Island action.
Does there need to be a special word, or just come up and say, "I watch you on CHGO" and think that you're the
There
best?
doesn't need to be a secret word.
I want a
They
secret-
could just say, "How
I want
about hi? How about hello?"
I want a secret word.
No.
my God.
Hey, Khari Blasingame, come out. Like that would be cool to come back to the interview, the moment, to make you
Yeah,
think
what
about
would be the
this
secret
great time.
password? There should be a secret password.
Are you the
Lemon
secret
tree.
password could be like, I remember when you took off your Wisconsin sweatshirt on
Look
the
how
show.
he's struggling.
Are you
This
hot
This
or
thing is like
something?
really on me. I am hot right now, so I'm gonna take
You're
my
literally
sweatshirt.
taking your.
I'm a hot.
Well, let me ask you this,
thing will
Adam, while you're
stretch.
struggling to take off your sweater.
Yeah. What do you want to ask me?
If
Briggs?
the Bears,
This is
let's,
weird.
let's say the Bears won the division this year,
Oh my God.
unexpectedly, and Justin Fields unexpectedly
Can you
won.
read that shirt?
Quiet. And Justin Fields unexpectedly won MVP, but the Bears lose their first playoff game to a team with a losing record in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Who is even the worst team to ever make the playoffs in the NFL? Would you
was a
take
confusing question.
Would,
so,
no, so the Bears
Fields
win the
wins
division,
MVP,
Fields wins MVP,
but the Bears lose the playoff game.
to a team with a losing record in the playoffs, the worst
Yeah.
team to ever make the playoffs. Would you take it?
Yes, if the quarterback wins MVP, that's a successful season.
It's successful.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Brax,
it'd be-
You essentially just
it'd be a-
you
All right,
es-
let's see how long it
you
takes.
essentially just said
Let's see
you
how long.
essentially
This is the
just
dumbest
said
argument ever, but
you
it's not
essentially just said that Purdue's season was a success. Now go ahead with your stupid shirt.
That is. The,
Who won MVP?
That-
Edie.
Zach Edey
Okay.
won National Player of the Year. They won
Yeah.
the division,
So how is he going to
and
help
they
you?
lost to the worst team
Yeah.
in March Madness. So you just said, you're making fun of that, but if the Bears do it, you're saying it's a success and you'll take it. So whatever. You're a hypocrite with your stupid shirt. You're fairly stupid.
The
can't
point
even-
is that the quarterback is good. You're going to have him for 10 years. Zach Edey is going to play in the NBA or overseas. That's the
another thing.
It's not even close to
It
the same
is the
thing.
same comparison.
No,
you just don't
it's
like
not.
it because I tricked you.
No
The
one's
oth-
tricked. That's the worst.
No,
Let me
the
help-
only thing you tricked is that my brain started firing, like it actually started breaking down,
Yeah,
trying to
you
follow
can't
what you
keep
were
up
saying.
with this beautiful mind.
I mean,
Zach Edey was the 430th rated recruit coming into prospect, coming into college,
cares?
and is going to win National Player of the Year.
You
He is-
lost in the first
be quiet.
round.
He is essentially the he's essentially Fairleigh Dickinson if Fairleigh Dickinson won the national championship.
no,
That's
he
how-
isn't.
yes,
He's
he is.
7'4". He's
there
not
are
Fairleigh
tons
Dickinson.
of 7'4" players that never amount to anything. What he did
Oh
is
my-
amazing, and what the
That's
Purdue
true.
program did with him is amazing. He's a 430 rated prospect, getting ready to win National Player of the Year. Quit hating on my team, all of you, with the stupid
What
shirt.
did they do last
Who is
year?
hating on anything? I didn't say anything.
All right, I'll let it go.
Can we?
I just
I think we
put
should
the
zoom.
shirt
I
on
think we
today.
should zoom in on the shirt. Can we zoom in on? It's so good.
Where did you get this?
What do you mean? I've always had this shirt. I've been a Fairleigh Dickinson fan forever. It's my favorite 16 seed.
I'm really upset that I didn't think of it too, and so I could double up, and we could both be sitting here in
Look at
Fairleigh
this.
land.
Look at this.
Look at what?
It's crap.
You got to admit. You know
Can
what?
you believe you lost to Fairleigh Dickinson?
Yeah, I can.
No, you
I
can't.
mean,
Not
I-
surprised
I
at it at
certainly
all.
can. It's Purdue.
I can't. What did you say?
I'm not surprised about it at all. I knew they were going to lose like 2 minutes into that game. So whatever.
Okay.
You guys are all talking smack. When I'm on the chimney yesterday, you guys are talking smack about me. Can't even defend myself. Cody and Sean over there talking smack while I can't. You be quiet. You be quiet, Cody. Tired of it. Tired
what do
of
you
this.
mean? What do you mean you can't say that? You're in the chat.
Yeah, now
the
I'm here.
But you're
now
in the
I'm here.
But you were in the chat
now
yesterday.
I got the mic. It's not funny anymore. Revenge tour this year.
Whoa.
I will get my revenge on all of you.
All I know is that my team's still playing basketball. Okay.
By the way, what do you think of the new hair over here?
Yeah, you finally got a haircut, you bum.
So,
Oh my!
I mean, I take care of business. You call out my hair, and I move things forward, and I
it's
sharpen
about
up.
time.
I sharpen up. I don't see any sharpening up over here.
Yeah. I'm sharpening. Okay? I'm sharpening.
Iron sharpens iron, brick by brick.
Yes,
I don't see
something
any-
like
I
that.
don't see any sharpening.
We got a super chat from Martin Ochoa, $4.99. Ed Oliver posted today on his IG story Photos of him sacking every NFC North QB except Fields. Something to watch or a stretch?
This is a question that only Braggs can answer. Braggs is the expert of
Who is that, Oliver?
sorting out.
Houston. Oh, University of Houston.
The pass Houston, right?
Yeah, he was a stud.
Yeah.
It's something to watch,
then-
Martin.
Yeah.
He's been on my radar for the last 30 seconds since I read that super chat.
Hey, Martin, this is back-to-back days where you've been over the top on your inside delving into what's going on. So that's twice that Ochoa has dominated via the super chat. So congratulations.
Okay, now I will say, this is in Ed Oliver's. Now I'm turning into Braggs here. Ed Oliver's Instagram story. There are 3 items in the story. Okay, there's him sacking Jared Goff. Next slide, Aaron Rodgers. Next slide, Kirk Cousins.
Now, what if he's just playing the long game and he's going to get all 32?
Right.
What
Or
if Justin's
it
next?
could be that he didn't sack Justin Fields, so he doesn't have one to post.
Well, probably that too.
I have no idea, but it is weird that it's all NFC North teams. I like this. This is what's so fun about the offseason are these little conspiracies. And then I completely buy into them. You know, like last week, the
And then I have to go do
corner
the
that
research.
went back to Philly. That didn't work out.
So he had 2.5 sacks last season. So were those all of his sacks? That's probably what it was.
Yeah.
Those
that's
were
what I
all
was
of his
thinking.
sacks from the NFC North. You ain't catching Justin. Sorry there, Oliver.
Martin says he did have a sack. I checked.
It's weird to hear you say the word
He does
Oliver.
have a sack against. He did have a sack against the Bears.
By the way, if you want to see who are we talking about, what's his name? Oliver?
Ed
Ed Oliver.
Oliver.
Ed Oliver. If
Adam.
you want to see Ed
University of
Oliver
Houston.
somewhere, the best way to do it is by buying your tickets for the Ed Oliver show on Game Time Tickets, where you can download the app, like 15 million people have done, and you could see Ed Oliver play football for someone. Or you could go see the Bulls and the Sixers tonight and enjoy it like you. This is, you know, we're trying to get to the 8. We're climbing up. We got eyes on you, Atlanta, 34 and 37, trying to get to 36 and 36. Game Time Tickets created by the fans for the fans. 15 million people have downloaded it. And yes, if you want to help us and help Game Time and support everything, you can buy your tickets through the link in the description. What's wrong with you?
Just that you're
Well, that was a
reading
loaded
that ad with a death stare right at me is scary.
Well, because every time we do Bears After Dark, you just like need every word of the Game Time Ticket app to be sent to you, and we've been doing this for a while.
I'm never gonna remember it. Maybe I will some, but not. I'm not gonna say never.
Game Time is so on my heart that I don't need to read it. I know it.
Oh, sorry.
I live it.
Okay, good. You
in
are
there.
living it.
And I go right to my phone and I get my Game Time Ticket app going on here, and I can tell you that right now, $53 is your cheapest ticket to get in tonight. Which is expensive, yeah.
So Braggs,
yet the best value.
if your whole scenario played out that you brought up earlier, and then the following year Justin Fields played for a different team, would you be happy about it? Because that's really what, if you're going to make a comp to
Zach's
Purdue.
playing for Purdue next year.
Okay, then the year after that, whatever freaking year, no
No.
one cares what year Zach Edey is.
Then he technically has a COVID year he could use too.
Zach
Okay,
Edey's
so he'll be
leaving.
there forever.
Let's hope so.
Does he have two? He has 2 more years left.
Technically, but he'll probably not stay. We'll see.
Where is he going
would
to
any-
play in like Turkey or something?
You know what? I'm tired of this slander.
I think he's an
What
NBA player.
slander?
You know, like last year, they lose to St. Peter's, and they become the last
round
stock.
was that?
Never mind in Sweet 16.
Stop
They were
losing
the
to
first
14
15
and
seed. They were the
16
first
seeds.
15 seed to ever get to an Elite Eight. But nobody talks about the fact that St. Peter's beat Kentucky, who you know how many 5-star recruits Purdue has had in their program history?
who else did-
One.
who else did
Kentucky
Fairleigh
has
Dickinson beat?
7 5-star recruits every single year that just roll themselves over.
Who else did Fairleigh
Tired
Dickinson
of
beat?
this.
When's the last time you guys were in the Final
They
Four?
almost won in the second round to Florida Atlantic. You guys, don't even give it to me about Northwestern. Northwestern wins one game.
They almost beat Florida Atlantic.
So Northwestern had a better year than Purdue?
No, they didn't.
So Chris Collins should have been the...
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
And
You
your
think it's
haircut
better to lose
sucks.
in the opening
His
round?
haircut sucks. He goes to a salon, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't go to a barber like a grown man. He goes to a salon
thought you were about
like
Chris
a
Collins.
9-year-old boy. And his mommy dropped him off at the salon to get his stupid haircut.
Play the card. Play the card.
First
play
of
the card.
all, everything you just said there is insane. I've gone to a barber. I've gone to a salon. Yesterday, I was walking down the street out here, and I did go to a salon, and I had an amazing experience. That was lovely. Third of all, just so you know, Gladys Carman, my amazing mother, cut hair in the basement of my house growing up. So I don't know if you call that a barber shop or a salon. It was $5, and let me tell you something.
Looks like you got a basement haircut.
Looks like I got a basement haircut.
I think your hair looks good.
This is unacceptable, Lawrence.
I mean, I could just hit
Quiet,
end
quiet,
show,
Cram.
Yeah. I'm waiting to end the show here. We got Cubs coming up in.
Cubs baseball season's underway.
Thanks for bearing with us on the audio. I don't know, that was wild, and I'm glad I fixed it. Thanks for calling us out in the chat for that.
Khari's awesome, man. That was a great time. I loved it.
Enjoyed talking to Khari Blasingame. Make sure you check out his podcast. Follow him on Twitter at Khari Blasingame. And that was a fun show, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to enjoy the rest of this day in this nice, comfortable new shirt I have. And
do you know the fight song for Fairleigh Dickinson? Maybe we can just make it like.
You know their coach left already?
Bear down.
St. Peter's coach last year got a job immediately.
Transfer portal for coaches.
Now, Fairleigh Dickinson, he got the job at Iona. So we're giving out D1 jobs.
Yeah.
You know, solid D1 jobs.
You're just a generous program is what you are.
Don't worry. This is the year. This is the year of revenge. Revenge will be mine.
All I know is I made 3 threes on Sunday, which means that if I was on Purdue would still be playing.
And all I know is that I played 12 minutes of rec league basketball off the bench and turned it over 3 times, and it was just like a boiler. How about that?
Just like a boiler.
Just like a boiler.
Thanks,
not getting
Crystal.
it done when it matters.
Brick by brick.
So many bricks. Bear down.
So
Fairleigh
tired of these
Dickinson.